Mother, he used to live there, right?
Right.
Your
Right.
mother-
Colorblind like me, that looks yellow, but I can't.
Second
It looks
one?
green from here to me, but yeah.
His second wife,
short
her second husband.
Yeah, yeah. I've never met your mother.
Yes.
I've told her she lived come by there.
Probably know.
Well, maybe I'll bring her over in a second.
Do you know how to contact me? Let me make sure I'm around.
No, I don't know that I've got.
East Coast, around the world.
Oh, I don't know.
Gentlemen,
Where's
my?
Oh, okay. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the August meeting of the Prince Edward County Planning Commission. The Prince Edward County Planning Commission strongly encourages citizens to participate in public meetings through in-person participation, written comments, and/or remote participation by calling 1-844-890-7777. The access code is 390313. Additionally, citizens may view the Planning Commission meeting live in its entirety at the county's YouTube channel, the link to which is provided on the county's website. Public hearing comments for Planning Commission meetings are subject to the Citizen Guide for providing input during public participation in public hearings for Prince Edward County government meetings, revised October 12, 2022. With that, I'd like to call the meeting to order. I'll take roll to make sure everybody's here. Mr. Fuller?
Present.
Mr. Gilliam?
Yes.
Mr. Page?
Here.
Mr. Peary?
Here.
Mr. Weiss?
Here.
Mr. Womack?
Here.
Mr. Leatherwood?
Here.
And Mrs. Sandlin's absent.
Yes.
Okay. With that, we have a quorum. At this time, I'd like everybody to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. The first item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from last month's meeting. Has anybody have any changes or adjustments to the meeting minutes?
I move that we approve them as submitted.
For a second?
I second.
Okay. We'll go, again, we'll take roll for that. Mr. Leatherwood?
Here.
Mr. Womack?
Yes.
Mr. Weiss?
Yes.
Mr. Peary?
Yes.
Mr. Page?
Yes.
Mr. Gilliam?
Yes.
Mr. Fuller?
Yes.
Thank you. The minutes have been approved. We have a public hearing this evening. Rob, can you give us a little overview?
Yes. Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, the county received an application request by C-Store Developer LLC for special use permit to operate a car wash on a parcel of land denoted as tax map parcels 051-A-33 and 051-10-2D, located on the west side of Farmville Road, which is Route 15, at its intersection with Commerce Road, which is State Route 628. This is adjacent to the recently permitted Wawa site and is part of that site. This parcel is commercially zoned, however, car washes do require a special use permit. I have advertised this in the Farmville Herald, sent adjoining property owner notification letters, also sent a letter to the town of Farmville, since this is within a half mile of the corporate limit, and have received no comments from the public or the town for or against this application. This development is within the Highway Corridor Overlay District. So if you look at your site plan, which I do have a bigger copy here at the table, it does have enhanced landscaping, brick facade, and ephes above the brick, but it does have a nice architectural treatment on the building, and their landscape is greatly enhanced. The dumpsters will be fully screened in a material like the building itself. So we reviewed that as staff to make sure that meets all our standards, and it does. County staff is of the opinion that the use is generally compatible with the district and will have minimal impacts on the surrounding properties. As far as the traffic item, they did a VDOT required a TIA for the Wawa itself, which I believe included this car wash in that. So that's been being reviewed and should be approved officially for both sites by Virginia Department of Transportation. So the entrance will be a shared entrance with the Wawa per the Highway Corridor Overlay District. So this should not have any impact, and the known impacts have been done by traffic engineering plan.
Okay, great.
So, I'd be glad to answer any questions. The applicants are here also to answer any questions. And I did provide you with some potential conditions, even though they talked about hours of operation of this site. Looking at the site plan, and with the fact it has a joint shared access off of 15, I did not place hours of operation on the car wash operation itself. It would be virtually impossible for us as staff to say, is someone coming into the property to come to Wawa, or they come to the car wash? It's gonna operate as like one big unit, much like a shopping center. So I think, I did not put that in there. I wanted to be clear wide. I did not put that there. I think it'll be very hard for us to manage, and be probably pretty harsh, because if the car wash is open, they may need to work on it when it's not open, or service it, I should say. I'd be glad to answer any questions anyone has of me.
Does anybody have any questions for Mr. Love from the board?
Robbie, I have a question about the traffic or the flow, and maybe this is a VDOT question, maybe it's not an us question. But the shared entrance, is that the entrance that I think I see on Farmville Road?
Correct.
Okay.
Well, of course, the entrance off of Commerce also gets you into the property.
And so folks using the car wash could, of course, use either
Yeah.
entrance.
And the exit out is going to be a right only.
Right.
So you're going to have to go down to Dominion and loop back if you're going to come back to Farmville, or keep straight if you're going to go to Keysville.
Yeah, I went by there again just to see how that would work. So what I'm driving at is, no pun intended, for the car wash. When cars pull in to use the car wash, actually go into the car wash, I'm trying to understand the orientation. How are they actually approaching the car wash? And I asked for a simple reason, maybe the applicant can explain it. In my hometown of Virginia, we had something very similar to this. And depending on the season and time of day and all that, cars could back up out of the parking lot onto the street and just sit waiting, to get their turn at the car wash. And it used to cause all sorts of traffic jams and every now and then an accident. And I mean, I'm not saying I'm against the car wash, I'm just wondering how the circulation would work so that there isn't a line of cars back out into the street.
All right, I'm going to show, if you let me, I'm going to show this to the developer. I think I know the flow that's going to.
Okay.
Then we'll ask the applicant
Yeah.
when they make their presentation to go over that with us. The last thing we want is traffic backing up on 15. Yeah.
It's kind of a good problem having, because the car wash is popular, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
the cars have nowhere to go but to sit in line on the street.
Thank you, right, we also have,
I'm looking at the photo in the document here. You can kind of get an idea where the traffic flow is going to go.
and that was addressed in there.
Yeah.
Okay, so coming in from Commerce, and then- so that,
They can come here.
right,
They're route,
sort of coming through, okay, got it, as opposed to here.
From the diagram I saw, it doesn't look like it'll conflict with traffic on, or backup traffic on the highway.
Good, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions for Mr. Love? With that, I'd like to ask the applicant just to come up, just to give us a brief overview for the board here. I see we really don't have any attendees. We may have somebody on the phone, but we don't have any attendees here in the. Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Good evening. My name is Ryan Yager for Bowler on behalf of the applicant. The applicant is also in attendance. To answer the traffic questions previously brought up, we do have stacking shown for approximately 8 vehicles. That is an increase and length of stacking from what the actual end user potentially may forecast to be needed. So we did take that into account in the initial design. There also is a stacking opportunity within the Wawa property as well, coming off from the other entrance, so to alleviate the concerns of any traffic stacking on the main road there. Otherwise, this is, we humbly request a special use permit for the car wash use. Site plans would come after the fact for the actual details for the landscaping layout and et cetera. So happy to answer any questions that other.
Just one quick question. You have operating 12 hours a day, so basically the car wash will just shut down, at a certain time then?
We don't have a firm specific
Okay.
user yet, but yes.
Okay, I saw 12 hours in the application, that's why I was curious.
Right, well, those hours were given by the most likely user.
Okay, that I understand, okay.
Sorry to be vague.
No, totally understand. I think, and Mr. Love said it, being in the premise or in the same property, I don't see it as an issue if it was longer hours or whatever.
Yeah, no, they're not a 24-hour operation.
Right.
Wawa is, so they
Yes.
will be open 24
Yeah.
hours. We will monitoring the site.
Right.
24 hours
Right.
a day, but the car wash does shut down. So
Right, okay, thank you.
And the car wash has its own employees, like,
yes,
Three.
it's not
That'll
all
be the-
related to Wawa.
right.
Other than they're sharing,
Yeah.
sharing infrastructure and other than Wawa is not, and has no ownership.
Right, okay, gotcha.
It's just an amenity to the property there,
I
okay,
mean, it's obviously a very
Right.
compatible use. But
Yes.
it's one that Wawa does not participate.
okay. Any other questions for the applicant from the board?
Just out of curiosity, are you able to recycle some of the water that's used in the car wash?
I believe it's all recycled.
Okay, great, great.
Again, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just make one comment. Well, number one, I'll make a comment. I did have one lady approach me today and said that, boy, I hope that car wash comes in because I got tired of spending an hour and a half every week washing my car. But anyways, so you have your own staff. I think the application said up to 15 employees. You're going to have 3 on site at all times?
Again, we don't have a specific user yet, but generally,
That's-
the information we put in the application is the information given to us by the user we expect to be there. So yes, he would have, I think he said 3 employees at any.
Just quickly, could you tell me how the flow process as far as it's one tunnel with multiple
Yes.
vacuum stations, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Generally, I would assume, that the tunnel has one actual wash lane. I'm not sure how this one stacks, whether it's 1 or 2. Some of them have a monthly membership. If you have a monthly membership, you go through one lane. If you're buying individually, you go through another lane. But that would all be user specific.
Well, just one closing comment. I know that, and I'm sure you're all aware of this. I mean, all car washes I've seen start out real nice, but they end up kind of falling off into disrepair at times, so we hope you all maintain it to our standards.
I don't think you're gonna have a problem in this case.
To add to that, I think we've got statements in our highway corridor overlay district, so if that becomes an issue with anyone, not this operation, we have language in that which protects the county. We can send letters and take care of any issues that may come up from any tenant of any property along the highway corridor overlay that we've permitted.
Does it use brushes? Or is it?
I don't,
Okay.
So none of it's automated, I mean, just like the drive-through car washes now that.
It is automated.
It is, it's,
Fully
all
automated.
Yeah, well, yeah.
right, what are the 3 employees for?
To take money if you're gonna pay, to put the little thing on your back windshield wiper so it doesn't get messed up, and to make sure you're properly lined up going into the tunnel.
Oh,
Okay.
And then obviously,
Resolve issues.
various other things,
Yeah.
if something happens,
Yeah.
the vacuums need to be
Right.
taken care of.
Clean out trash, trash
Yeah.
cans from the car, cleaning area.
The neighbor situation here will also aid in making sure this is very well.
From some of the ones I've seen, which you're describing a little bit, they're manned, which helps a lot with the maintenance and the upkeep and the cleanliness. Yes.
To use a cliche, this is not your father's car
Correct. Any other questions for the applicant from the board? With that, I'll open the public hearing. And again, nobody's on the phone? Okay. Do we have any questions from the audience? With that, I'll close the public hearing. And from the board standpoint, looking at it, seems kind of straightforward. There's no real issues here. But as it is, it's a special use permit, so we do need to take a vote. We need to have a motion and a second and take a vote, yea or nay on this,
With conditions.
with conditions as shown. And as Mr. Love said, the hours, he doesn't have those in the conditions right now because we're not sure exactly what the hours will be, but based upon the operation being manned, I think the hours would be consistent, I would assume.
Mr. Chairman, I move that the planning commission recommend the approval of this project.
With the conditions listed.
Second.
We'll go around and take a vote then. Mr. Leatherwood,
Yeah.
Mr. Womack,
Yes.
Mr. Weiss,
Yes.
Mr. Peary,
Yes.
Mr. Page,
Yes.
Mr. Gilliam,
Yes.
Mr. Fuller.
Yes.
Motion is passed. And we will move this right up to the County Board of Supervisors for their next meeting. And I want to thank you very much for all your hard work and effort in this. I think everybody's looking forward to the operation opening up.
Much good luck with it.
Yes. Next on the agenda is old business. Mr. Love?
Actually, review of supervisor actions.
Oh, I apologize. Go ahead.
So, the flag ordinance was passed. The board we advertised their option 4. We sent them the planning commission recommendations. They accepted one of those, which is the cemetery exemption. So that was added to the original, option 4, ordinance, and that was passed by a 6-2 vote.
That's great. Thank you.
So that we do now have a total site allowance. Someone could use up to a combination of 3 flags, but they could have one 120, they could have 2 60 square footers, or they could have 3 the total of which, they could combine them how they want to. But one flag can, in and of itself on a site, could be up to 120 square feet. And the cemeteries are exempted.
Great.
They did not, the limit of 3 per parcel is still there, but the language just say per parcel. If
Right.
somebody's got more than one parcel, then they could put more than
Okay.
another parcel.
Sure.
But they can't appeal the height of the flag,
They cannot.
Thank you.
the pole.
That's, the
Pole is separate.
the pole is a special use permit,
Right.
and that was not changed. That was not part of the advertisement.
Right.
The 20-foot poles is still the by right with a zoning permit.
Right.
And anything taller than that would be a special use permit.
And with the special use permit, could they apply for a special use permit for a larger flag?
No. It applies, the language that was there previously applied to the flag pole only, and then the board did not accept that special use permit
what I was asking.
language as it relates to a flag. The majority was happy with 120 as site allowance. And up to 3 per parcel.
Any other supervisor actions?
No.
Okay. Any old business?
Well, I just wanted to go over, we've got several sites now under construction. The Dollar General down near Fish and Pig in Kingsville is under, the turn lane's kind of rough cut in. They're still doing tree clearing and brush removal. That brush is actually going to the county landfill, and the county's getting tip fees on it.
Fantastic.
So yes, it's generating already generating some income.
They have a good-sized crew out there.
They do have a
working
good,
also.
the crew's doing a good job with it, and they're taking everything they can send them.
Right.
So I think we'll see that moving along. Again, just an update on a couple old sites, the Wawa site, that's kind of waiting on the car wash. They'll be doing I had done the stormwater permit on behalf of the county to them. They're gonna amend that and add the car wash if it's approved. Because it would use a centralized or joint stormwater basin. The old Noah's Pet Store site, which is a better built sheds, That is under construction.
Correct.
W.H. Stratton is working on the new building. That's going real well. And Sekou Abdul Sabar he's finalizing his title work, his legal work to take ownership of the property. He's got everything he needs other than final building permits, but he's got stormwater and ENS. So as soon as he owns the property, he can turn dirt. And of course, on county property, the Rice Collections Convenience Center is completed.
Timetable on the worship site,
The which
worship site to start.
I don't know. I think that's really all the old business I've got.
They've also started work. I see, interest from, signs up there at 47 for the solar farm. It's on
Yes.
47.
Yes. Oh, that's the Elam Road solar site that y'all approved on Elam Road. It has actually been sold. It's still gonna be called Elam Road Solar LLC as far as the operator, but Dimension Energy, who's building the one on 47, is gonna be the owner of that site as well. So they will, and Dimension's been doing a good job on the alt site, AULT.
Right.
They're doing a good job. They're doing a good job on stormwater and ENS. It's going in well. We had a really good pre-development meeting with them, with the building official, and it's going really well, really smooth. They're doing everything they need to do. And so I don't anticipate when the transition, they'll assume all the siting agreement, the special use permit conditions. They've already sent us letters as such. So the Elam Road site should go just as smooth. So,
Any other old business?
I don't,
One question that's come up from a couple residents of the county, the new turnaround lane, roundabout, dead end across from near the Y. And,
yeah.
That's still to be determined?
Well, that opens up all of that land.
Right.
That's a smart scale project. It was a VDOT, that's a VDOT road.
Right.
And that now opens that up to subdivision development as a business park.
Correct. It's all business.
It's all in business and industry. It's part of the county park. It's zoned
Right.
industrial.
Okay.
So commercial uses can go there, industrial uses can go there, and any use permitted by special use, and either one of those
Okay.
could potentially come to you.
Right.
We don't, that is tied to some job creation, so I think that's gonna be heavily marketed.
Right.
So I think, hopefully we'll see a tenant coming up soon.
It does look good. I was just curious.
It's a
because
nice
couple people
project.
asked me about, yeah. I explained it wasn't a roundabout. It was just future development.
No, that's a cul-de-sac that allows,
Yes, right.
it allows the full development of that parcel kind of sticks out as a finger.
Yep.
It kind of goes out, so. That was designed that way, to open that property up to the most highest and best use of the parcel itself.
Any new business? With that, nobody else has any new business? Any other comments? Meeting adjourned. Thank you, everyone.